Hi, I'm Steph. I'm training to be a sex therapist, and I'm extending my Pride Month bookshelf tour because I didn't manage to get it all into Pride Month, in which I'm showing off some of the blurbs of some of the books on my bookshelf that go a bit more outside the box than the usual psychotherapy textbooks, because I want you to be encouraged to read them, and I want you to know what kinds of things will be informing my my training and my work. And I am here today, on this very hot day, in my very comfy chair, to talk about Carl Gustav Jung, a name which will be familiar to any one interested in philosophy, psychology, and things to do with gender. So, just to show off not just how influential the books he wrote were, but how influential people who have been influenced and inspired by him have become in turn. And my bookshelf contains, to name but a few, one of many and varied introductions to Jung's psychology by Frida Fordham, and two of the books by Carl Gustav Jung, although there is another one which is at my lovely girlfriend's house, but I want to do a video on that with her together. Books a book inspired by and edited by Carl Jung and put together with work of the school of psychoanalysis that he founded. And most interesting of all to me, and I'll explain why in a minute, is Jung and the Lost Gospels and Gnostic Jung and the Seven Sermons to the Dead, both by Stephen Heller, who is a Gnostic Christian. And for those of you who are not familiar with what that is, it was a heretical, mystical, alternative interpretation of the Gospel of Jesus, which was mentioned by its critics and detractors and people who didn't like it in the 2nd and 3rd century onwards, and it wasn't actually unearthed until the 1940s, at which point Jung wrote a copy of the manuscript because it talks about mystical union between divine masculine and divine feminine, and Jung was very famous for using those kinds of works for talking about the inner femininity of every male and the inner masculinity of every female. And the reason why these books interest me in particular is because Gnosticism, though it's not a firm belief of mine, was a big part in my Christian deconstruction journey. And that is a journey that I would like to help you on. My clients will be many and varied, and I am happy to take on any kind of issues and concerns that people think I can help them with, advise them on, or support them through. But I especially want to talk now to two kinds of people. If you are someone whose queer expression, freedom of queer expression, from now into what you would like to be your future, has been hampered, or you're fearing will be hampered by a past containing any kind of religious repression, then I would love to meet with you for some one-to-one online meetups to see if I can gain some practice experience giving you some of the support that you might need. Oh, bad hair day, look at that. When I look straight at the camera, I'm fine. When I turn my head, it's a bad hair day. So I'll just have to look like I'm nonchalantly just stroking my fingers through my hair on this warm day. But yes, I would love for you, if that's a description of you, to message me through whatever social media you found this on, and I would love to see if there are things I can help and support you with. Now, another thing that I don't quite have the expertise or experience to support people through yet, but I would like to keep on gathering more information so that I'm fully informed in the future. If you are a survivor of or an experiencer of any kind of so-called conversion therapy, I would love to hear your story so I can gain as much information from first-hand experience of people who've been put through it as I possibly can. I will treat your information with the utmost care, the utmost respect, the utmost confidentiality and intend to use it to gather information to inform my training and my therapy so that I can be part of any healing journeys that people like yourselves have been through. If either of those things are you, then I would love to hear from you. And in the meantime, remember, Pride is all year.